but I see it's Zero Chill. It's one of my favorite events with Ultimate Team. I love the Christmas stuff. Just like during Halloween and Thanksgiving time, I enjoy the different packs that they release and the different stuff you can win or unlock. Hold on. Fudge. So that's what I'm going for. Hopefully, I haven't got myself too far behind by not playing. I haven't played this in a little bit. Ah, man, I forgot. I gotta change the volume so that it doesn't interrupt the hearing for you guys. The
Menu
stories.
narration option is set to off.
Where is
Menu
the
narration
volume?
option is set to off.
Cameras on field. Play call. Let's back out of Ultimate Team. Close. Come on, you're taking a long time. Settings. All right. Here's the volume. What I will do is leave the on-field stuff so y'all can hear them talking to each other. The music I'm turning all the way down because I don't care about the music in the menu. I'm turning all the way down. All right. Let's go back to Ultimate Team. Let's do this, guys. All right. Back to. Is this not charging? Those of y'all that just left off of the me playing MLB The Show. We were listening to the food theory, the many lies of McDonald's chicken nuggets from the food theorist. Oh, look at all this stuff I got to open. I'll give a little, before I start up, I'll give a little rundown of my team so far. Just so everybody can kind of see what my ultimate team looks like. I need to probably set it up anyway. Oh, I'm out of coffee. See, all this I don't care about. None of these can start. There's no room for none of you guys. See what Zero Chill. My welcome pack. I don't think you can. Let's see here. Hop on aboard the Madden Express. Collect presents as it makes stop at different frozen festivals and Ultimate Team. Offer. Learn how to upgrade. Okay. Let's delete you. Alright, let's open you. There's a mystery pack here I'm excited about. Scan the code. How to upgrade tokens. Customizable tight end Donald Pen. Let me go ahead and scan that right quick. I guess those of y'all that are watching this, you could probably scan it as well. Pause it, do what you need to do. And let's see what this mystery pack is. Find out on, okay, Christmas morning. One of my favorite things about Madden is during the Christmas holiday. Um, which is it? Do I not have enough points to get that? No, I'm not spending no money. I don't care enough about that. Alright, we got one more pack to open. Yeah, that's right. It's that one. We're not going to open that. So let's go into challenges. Let's go back to doing what we were doing. Oh wait, never mind. That's right. Hold on. Let's check out the team. So you're gonna notice a little trend. My favorite team is the 49ers, so I'm gonna have quite a few of them. Vic's my quarterback. You can't go wrong with Vic being your quarterback. Gore's my running back. Running back 2 is McCaffrey. I got my fullback over here, Kyle. Moss, Drake London, and Chris Olive. Zach Ertz in my back. I got your tight end here. Let's go to defense. The Tua, Greenlaw, Jalen Ramsey, Chase Young, of course. Aaron Donald right there in the middle. Defense could be better. I guess I did get a defensive tackle, but he wasn't better than 86. Richard Sherman over here. All right, let's go ahead and stack his team up. Best team overall. See what it changes. So I did bring in him, which is all good. Kicker. All right, now let's get into it. Well, like I said, for those of y'all that were listening to, I got so much stuff to do here. Before I had play clock running low, kicking through heel to toe, covered in snow and ice at every field we go. Crowd chanting like pharaohs to the opposing locker doors. All these things and more. That's what greatness means to me, my dove. Score 3 points. This drive, 19 yards. This drive. This is easy. All right, here we go, guys. Back to, like I said, food theory. Is that it was got 5 minutes, and then we might mix it up after that. Maybe put some football commentary in with the talks of Brock Purdy.
This didn't go too well for McDonald's in the 1960s. At the time, it just had over 1,000 restaurants in operation, basically 2 things on the menu, burger and fries. Cholesterol with a side of fat. The beef industry was already starting to feel the U.S.'s shift away from cow and towards the lower cholesterol alternatives of chicken and turkey, but in 1977, the pressure got turned up even more. The U.S. published what's now considered a controversial nutrition guideline all about cutting fat out of everyone's diet and realigning to this old friend, the food pyramid. In recent years, it's been revealed that the food pyramid was actually highly misleading. A theory for another day to be sure, but at the time, this was the guidance that everyone followed. It had a huge impact on the food market, which was now being strongly forced to shift to white meat chicken as the alternative protein to fatty beef. And looking back at McDonald's, they're over here for the last decade like Jordan Peele, sweating profusely trying to figure out what to do. So, how about line number 3, steal someone's recipe? In 1963, a man named Robert Baker came up with a recipe for a little something called the chicken stick. Yeah, it's not a very appealing sounding name, but that's because the dude was a scientist and not some sort of marketing genius. Robert Baker was a professor of poultry science. Yep, real thing, from Cornell University, and is responsible for more than 40 different poultry products ranging from chicken nuggets to turkey burgers. This guy was so prolific when it came to cooking bird meat that he was inducted into the American Poultry Hall of Fame. Also apparently a real thing. God bless you, Robert Baker. He didn't patent his chicken sticks right away, so McDonald's was able to sweep in and take credit for his invention, including his whole method for making them. The method involves taking finely chopped white meat chicken, skin and spices, as well as maybe some breading to bind it, grinding it up into a regular consistency, breading it twice, then flash freezing it to bind everything together real well. At the time of cooking, it's deep fried in fat directly out of the freezer and served. Thus, the Chicken McNugget was born, and with it, McDonald's finally had on its menu a healthier, lower cholesterol alternative to burgers. Right? Right? Wrong on so many levels. So wrong that it's actually line number 4. While McDonald's absolutely met the letter of what the media was pushing towards, serving lean white meat chicken in their restaurants, they managed to skirt around the intention of creating a healthier alternative to hamburgers. Let's just compare the nutrition facts of a McDonald's hamburger to a McDonald's 6-piece Chicken McNugget, which both conveniently enough have the same calorie count, 250 calories, thereby making this a fair comparison. Total fat in the burger, 9 grams. Total fat in the nuggets, 15. Total saturated fat in the burger, 3.5 grams, versus the nuggets, 2.5 grams, which I guess is 1 gram win for upending the entire American beef industry. But let's look at the thing that drove this whole controversy in the first place: cholesterol. McDonald's hamburger, 30 milligrams. McDonald's chicken McNuggets, 40. A hamburger actually has 25% less cholesterol than the nuggets, even though the entire invention of the nugget was driven by America's obsession with lowering their cholesterol in the 1970s. McDonald's effectively made a less healthy alternative to a hamburger in response to the public's demand for a healthier alternative to the hamburger, and they 100% got away with it. I mean, there's a reason chicken nuggets are a mainstay of McDonald's menus around the world. These things are delicious, and the reason they're really delicious is maybe because they're kind of bad for you. All that said, if you think this episode is me putting on a poor beef moment, or that I'm a secret member of Big Beef, which ironically has adopted some of Big Tobacco's old playbook in recent years, I'm not. I do love a great steak as much as the next guy, but my New Year's resolution is to eat healthier, just like the next guy. In researching for healthy lifestyle choices in 2022, I did find out something in a fun twist. Ansel Keys, he might have been onto something. He did, in fact, live to be 100, so minus the completely unethical cover-up of his research, there's evidence that the Mediterranean diet is a good one for lots of other reasons. Just, not preventing heart attacks. And even though we know that the Mediterranean diet isn't the end-all be-all of nutrition solutions, it doesn't mean that beef is off the chopping block either. The World Health Organization recently declared
So those of you that were watching, I had to pause that right quick. The wife came in, but yeah, I had 3 drop passes in the end zone after that long play by London. So back to do it again. This is ridiculous. That's one thing I wish I had, like, a little bit better receivers. I don't want to spend no. I guess I could. Spend some of the tokens on it. These damn drop passes are getting out of hand. Like Olive over there, I can't stand him. But like team wise, I mean, he's the best. Give me that receiver I have. Wow, that wasn't a touchdown, huh? Wow, that is though. Get in there, like 10-7. Should have just gave it to you in the first place. Back at it.
potential environmental concerns as well, so there's plenty still left here to debate. All that said, whatever your path to health may be in 2022, remember that the food you're choosing is often dictated by the advertising that you see, not the rigorous scientific studies that we're all clearly reading. We all probably should be reading, to be honest. If you want to actually know what's healthy, read the nutrition facts to decide if that incredibly deep-fried chicken is actually better for you than the filet mignon. Or, you can always make your New Year's resolution subscribing to the channel. I'm here to do all that research for you.
All right, guys, we're going to stick with this same guy. Now we're going to go to everybody's favorite, the McRib.
And digest it down into a nice taste.
Same guy.
I'll take one McRib sandwich.
I'm sorry, the McRib is not currently available. Alright, it's back for a limited time.
Wow, that's some good timing on my part, huh? Alright, so I'll take one McRib and a small...
Oh, I'm sorry, you took too long. It's gone again.
What?
The McRib conspiracy.
Gone. Back. Ooh, still back. Gone forever. Now it's back forever. Just kidding. It's gone. I mean, back. It's gone. It's back. Hello? 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 He's gone forever.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that's always there for you, unlike the McRib. Yeah, it's about that time, friends. Everyone's favorite barbecue-flavored sandwich with a bone boneless, restructured pork patty pressed into the shape of a miniature rack of ribs is back again. Nope, you're not experiencing deja vu. The McRib's been appearing and disappearing from the McDonald's U.S. menu on a regular basis for over 30 years. It's basically a tradition at this point. Now, personally, I believe that there are two types of people in this world. Those who are happy to see the McRib return, and those with taste buds. Now, obviously, I'm just joking. Let's be honest, I eat a lot of fast food. McRib, not really one of my favorites, but I totally understand why there are plenty of fans of the sandwich. And every time the McRib returns, they celebrate all across social media. As McDonald's senior archives manager Mike Bullington puts it, quote, "There's no denying that the McRib is one of the most iconic sandwiches of the last 4 decades, and we have thousands of emails and tweets from fans to prove it." This all makes me wonder, if the McRib actually is as beloved as they say, then why isn't the sandwich widely available year-round? Does McDonald's prefer to only make its customers happy some of the time? Does the restaurant only like making money some of the time? It's not as though the sandwich is themed around any sort of holiday or time of year, so what is McDonald's angle with this thing? Is this a case where the restaurant is reluctantly giving the fans what they want even though the sandwich doesn't make it much money? Or does the sandwich actually make the restaurant a lot of money and McDonald's is cleverly tricking its customers into gobbling up a very inexpensive meat patty? A bunch of theories have sprung up about the old McRib over the years. More theories than any non-permanent fast food menu item should have, probably. And so today, I, Matt Pat, will take the occasion to review those theories, yo! That's right, friends, it's a McMorty.
Leave your theories in the comments below. I'll pick my favorites in the next episode of Morty.
So the first theory about the McRib, and the one that I've heard regurgitated the most over the years, is that McDonald's brings the McRib back whenever pork prices drop, and this allows them to make a higher profit margin on the sandwich. And when we look at the chart of lean hog prices over the past couple of decades, the big nationwide and international McRib rollouts do seem to coincide with its pork price. But would this be intentional or coincidental? Is there any way that McDonald's could reliably predict a downward swing in the price of pork months ahead of time? Because take it from me, the guy who just rolled out an entire line of theoryware merch for the holidays, it takes a lot of effort and planning to get a product rolled out. How would McDonald's know months ahead of time that pork prices are going to drop? This year, for instance, we know for a fact that McDonald's had November 1st nailed down as the McRib's return date about 3 months in advance. If McDonald's does have a way of predicting the price action of pork, they're able to see it way ahead of time. So let's pull that chart back up and see if there are any patterns. Not seeing anything in the 1-year charts. What about 5 years, 10 years? Sure enough, the further out we pull, the clearer the trend becomes. The price of pork is cyclical, and it almost always spikes in late spring and takes a nosedive in late fall or early winter. And once you know it, McDonald's generally brings the McRib back in October or November, just like they did this year on November 1st. So to me, this means it has to be an intentional choice on McDonald's part, because despite what they would have you believe, there's no other reason why quote-unquote McRib season should be in late autumn. I mean, come on! The McRib was intended to capture the essence and flavors of South Carolina pulled pork barbecue. Yep, I was surprised by that fact. It doesn't taste anything like that. But anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm happy to eat barbecue any time of the year. But you cannot tell me that summer isn't barbecue season, McDonald's. You're not gaslighting me like that. So McDonald's is trying to make the McRib in cold weather months because pork generally costs less during that time of year, which, gotta admit, was a bit surprising to me because all the big ham holidays like Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving all happen during the half of the year when prices are generally lower. But why would the price of lean hogs go down during the months when pig meat is on the menu in such a major way? That seems to, defy supply and demand, doesn't it? Well, to understand this phenomenon, we need to discuss pig cuts for a moment. Ham comes from the upper leg of the pig and is then cured. Thanks to a lot of holiday traditions, ham is in high demand during the cold winter months. All the rest of the pig, though, not so much. But it's not as though only a fraction of the pig can be slaughtered at once. So basically, in order to keep up with the demand for holiday ham, a lot of pigs start getting butchered in the fall. The ham cuts get sold immediately, but the rest of the pig that isn't as high in demand generally migrates into cold storage during these months, where it stays frozen until interest in non-ham pork cuts pick up again. And wouldn't you know it, the McRib's pork patties are made entirely from these other non-ham pork cuts. According to McDonald's, the McRib patty is primarily shoulder meat. Yeah, sorry to break it to you, the McRib isn't actually the meat from the ribs of the pig. But what was McDonald's supposed to do, call it the McShoulder? They can't, because I copyrighted the McShoulder a long time ago for when I finally make it into the WWE. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp this theory as certified true, but with a small caveat. McDonald's isn't reacting to the price of pork, they're actually predicting predicting price dips based on well-established cyclical price patterns. So here's a hot tip. If you're a fan of the McRib and want to know when it's going to be available next, you don't have to rely on the McRib locator. Just pull up some historic pork price charts and you should have your answer months ahead of time. But you see, that doesn't tell us the whole story. There's more going on here, but to understand why, we have to look at the next theory. This one says that the McRib is a loss leader. Now, loss leading is a strategy where a product gets sold at a low price that's not profitable, with the hope that it entices customers to buy other products that are profitable. A well-known example of a loss leader is Costco's rotisserie chicken, which is used to increase foot traffic and draw customers deeper into the store. While the company's actual losses from rotisserie chicken are unknown, Costco's CFO has stated that they're willing to lose $30 to $40 million per year in order to keep that chicken at its low price of $4.99. It is that effective at getting people to spend money in the store. So the theory here is that the McRib isn't actually a permanent item on McDonald's menu because it actually costs more to produce than its menu price. However, by bringing it back once every year or so, McDonald's is able to reinvigorate a wave of customers to purchase other higher margin items like French fries and fountain drinks. See also our episode on fast food soft drinks where we talked about the markup on sodas being north of 1,000%. Now, it makes a lot of sense why people believe the McRib is a loss leader. In my area, the McRib costs 12% less than a Big Mac, but it has 57% more meat on the sandwich by weight. The fact of the matter, though, is that we're not going to be able to confirm whether or not the McRib is a loss leader. In order to know that, we need to know the cost of everything that goes into the McRib. The cost of the ingredients, the cost of producing and shipping the sandwich components to restaurants, the cost of labor to assemble the sandwich, the cost of marketing the McRib to consumers, and none of that info is available to us. McDonald's alone knows the truth, but that doesn't mean that we can't still run some back-of-the-napkin math on it based on what we do know and see what we learn. According to the USDA, the current retail price for ground beef, which is used in McDonald's hamburger patties, is $4.719 per pound here in the United States. Boneless chicken breasts, which are used in McDonald's chicken sandwiches, is $3.589. Other pork cuts, which comprise the McRib patty, are going for $3.565 per pound. After weighing patties from several top-selling McDonald's sandwiches, and after accounting for the fact that the meat and poultry experience a 25% loss of mass when cooked, I determined that the meat on a Big Mac retails for 87.8 cents, which is 18% of the burger's retail price here in Raleigh. The chicken breast on the crispy chicken sandwich retails for 56.7 cents, accounting for 15% of that sandwich's overall price. Meanwhile, the meat in the truly massive McRib patty retails for just over $1.04, a whopping 24.3% of the McRib sticker price. Now, that alone isn't enough info to say with certainty that McDonald's is losing money every time they sell a McRib, but it sure seems like their profit margin is slimmer than with most sandwiches. And that's not even taking into account the fact that the McRib is a very inefficient sandwich for the restaurant. It requires a special press griddle to prepare it and give it its rib-like shape. Its elongated bun isn't used on other sandwiches like the Big Mac's buns are. Even the onions on the McRib are different than the diced onions that are served with the burgers. So yeah, not exactly the level of efficiency that the McDonald's brothers sought to achieve with their speedy service system back in the day. In the end, I'm going to stamp this theory as certified plausible. If McDonald's would like to open up its books and remove all doubt, they know where to find me, but yeah, all the evidence again points to this being a loss leader. Which brings us finally to the third theory as to why the McRib's availability is so hit or miss. The McRib isn't actually popular. Oh man, can't believe I just said that one out loud. The hashtag McRib groupies are probably out there coming for me, assuming that they're real and not some
Ooh, you see that block by number 87.
See, there's good reason to believe that the McRib doesn't have staying power as a permanent menu item. McDonald's has already tried it on the permanent menu and it failed. That's right, when McDonald's began testing the McRib in 1981, it wasn't a seasonal cold weather sandwich. There was no McRib season. It was introduced because there was a chicken shortage, and McDonald's needed another meat on the menu to help smooth over any chicken nugget shortages that might arise. McDonald's began testing the McRib at more and more U.S. restaurants over the next several years. The company claimed that it was confident that the McRib would make it, only to pull the plug on the sandwich in 1985. So it would seem that the public's just not that into you, McRib. You had your shot at becoming the next chicken McNugget, but you just couldn't kill the king. End of story, right? Wrong. McDonald's then brought the McRib back a decade later, and the sandwich made it until 2005 with recurring availability. But by November, they'd announced the McRib Farewell Tour, and the McRib was on life support yet again. Did it die? No. A petition to save the McRib made the rounds, and the sandwich was brought back for another farewell tour in 2006, yet another farewell tour in 2007, and since then the annual return of the McRib has been more or less persistent to this very day. So at this point you're probably thinking, okay, so a grassroots petition from the fans saved the McRib. That means that it actually is popular then, right? Not so fast, young theorist, because that petition was just part of McDonald's marketing campaign. The petition was literally a joke. It was sponsored by the fictitious Boneless Pig Farmers Association of America, and it was hosted on McRib.com, a website that was registered to McDonald's. So, you see what happened here, right? In the 80s, McDonald's saw that the McRib couldn't cut it as a permanent menu item. In the 90s, they saw it might be able to scrape by if it was offered on and off, but in the 2000s, they really hit pay dirt when they got their customers whipped into a frenzy. It was a petition back then. Today, it's a social media campaign. The McRib hashtag, the McRib season branding, it all helps get the customers excited and in the door for a sandwich that they then very, very quickly lose interest in. As one McDonald's franchise owner explains, it plays out the exact same way every year. Quote, first few weeks we sell nearly 200 per day, and near the end we may sell less than 50 per day. These quantities do not justify its placement as a core menu item. So what's the deal with the McRib's weirdly limited availability? Well, it excites me to no end to say this, but it appears multiple conspiracy theories about it are true and are working in tandem with each other. Based on the fact that it failed its audition as a core menu item straight out of the gate, it's clear that the sandwich was never a clear-cut winner for the restaurant, even today when it's priced aggressively low. And yet McDonald's has shrewdly weaved gold out of this whole situation. They realized that they could make a winner out of the McRib by hyping it up whenever pork prices predictably dipped. The result? Customers clamoring to buy a barbecue-inspired sandwich nowhere, and I do mean nowhere, near barbecue season. But hey, that's just a theory. And this is me thanking the sponsor of today's episode, Raycon. Friends, I am a traveling YouTuber. I take my reconstructed pork patties on the go. I take my business calls on the go. I review edits of food theory episodes on the go. And that's what makes Raycon's wireless earbuds so great for someone like me. Nothing is worse than an earbud that won't stay put. But I gotta say, these new everyday earbuds do not budge, no matter what sort of crazy antics I'm getting up to. Plus, they start at half the price of other premium audio brands, but they sound every bit as good. So you know Santa Pat is gonna be stuffing some stockings with Raycon everyday earbuds this year. I mean, just look at all the stylish colors they come in. And with free shipping and returns, giving the gift of Raycon is easier than ever. Click the link down in the description box below or go to buyraycon.com/food theory, then use the code HOLIDAY, HOLIDAY, to get 15% off site-wide. If you know someone who's looking for a quality audio experience this holiday season, you cannot go wrong with gifting up some Raycons. Looks like you're out of excuses, friends. A huge thank you to Raycon for supporting this channel, and a final reminder to you that it's all just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
All right. So let me get a play right here. That's gonna have him thrown across his body, but it's okay. Right there. Get that. Yeah, I'll take that. Let's check out rappers who destroyed their careers with one mistake. I know I was going to go to. Then we'll check out a football one.
A successful rap career is extremely hard to obtain, yet very easy to destroy. One mistake, one bad album, one tweet could start a ripple effect that leads a rapper to fade into irrelevance. Today we are going to look at the stories of rappers whose careers dwindled for reasons they likely could have prevented, starting with Superstar Pride, a rapper who had the fastest and most ironic rise and fall of all time. Many of you heard Superstar Pride briefly in 2023 when his song Painting Pictures went viral. However, it wasn't necessarily viral for the song, but rather his obscure mullet-style haircut. The crazy part about this track is that it was originally uploaded in 2020 and went unnoticed.
And mama, don't worry, you racist.
Then 2 years later, when he uploaded the live mic performance video to Painting Pictures, it also fell on deaf ears. It wasn't until 5 months after the music video dropped, February of 2023, that Pride casually created a TikTok, posted the music video snippet, and it blew up. The first clip he posted got 10 million views. The second one did over 40 million views. Bro got the Sonic haircut. Bro looked like he got screamed at. Bro's haircut was 50% off. Nobody was talking about the song. just his hair. Then a viral trend emerged of people imitating his video with something ridiculous taped to the back of their head, which could not be outdone when someone managed to get an entire airplane strapped to their head. The opening line, "Mama, don't worry," was also getting stuck in people's heads, which led to the song amassing 160 million streams on Spotify and over 30 million on YouTube. Painting Pictures shot up to number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100, and every major label got into a bidding war trying to sign him. But he sided with Steve Stout and his independent structured music label, United Masters.
And he wanted like $5 million from a label. And when they didn't give him $5 million, they offered him $3 million. He's like, if it ain't 5, I'm not signing it. I'm like, what?
Pride let his ego get the best of him, refusing $3 million for wanting $5 million. 3 weeks after refusing the record deal, he was arrested for murder.
A Mississippi rapper is charged with murder in Panola County. 20-year-old Kadarius Pride, known as Superstar Pride.
The victim, Marcus Wheatley, was Pride's barber, likely responsible for his signature hairstyle. Wheatley's grandmother said Pride stormed into their house and gunned him down in the backyard. Currently, Pride is being held without bond and doesn't have a trial set. Nobody knows what happened or why it happened. But a rapper going viral for his ridiculous haircut in February, then allegedly murdering his barber a few months later after denying $3 million is the most insane self-sabotage I have ever seen. And if you thought Pride's story was a poetically ironic form of self-sabotage, meet Chance the Rapper, who once famously said, "I met Kanye West, I am never going to fail," but still managed to fail. Chance the Rapper's 2013 mixtape, Acid Rap, was universally praised by hip-hop fans. His raspy voice and sprinkle of soul combined with his youthful, positive energy made this project a masterpiece. Tracks like Cocoa Butter Kisses and Favorite Song have aged like fine wine. But Chance was in no rush to capitalize on his buzz. He worked on his next mixtape for 3 years. He had the whole city of Chicago rooting for him and garnered support from the biggest artists in the world, including Kanye West, who featured Chance on his 2016 album, The Life of Pablo. Chance's part on Ultralight Beam is one of the biggest highlights of the project. Coloring Book was his 2016 mixtape that served as the perfect follow-up to Acid Rap. Chance's cadence, soulful lyrics, and euphoric beat selection was unlike anyone else in hip-hop at the time, especially on tracks No Problem and All We Got. He earned a Grammy for Best New Artist, and some people even believed he could give Drake a run for his money. But then he blew it. And I'm gonna blow you away when you hear about today's sponsor. Lately I've been obsessed with fantasy sports, and that's where today's sponsor comes in, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, but not just football. You can make picks on baseball, basketball, hockey, UFC, and more. Just pick whether you think your favorite player's stats will be higher or lower, and you can make big money. You can make your own entry with as few as 2 picks and 3x your money, or go bigger to win up to 20x. Right now, Underdog is giving new customers a special pick for Trevor Lawrence. All he needs to do is have 1 yard to win. Here are my picks for Week 13 of the NFL season, and if it hits, I'll 20x my money. I also have a special promo. Underdog is offering new users a $100 deposit match. Underdog's pick'em games are available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. All you have to do is click the link below or download Underdog via the App Store and use code PatrickCC. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PatrickCC for a first deposit match up to $100. It makes the NFL even more interesting for me, so rep your team and make your picks with Underdog. Starting with a track called Groceries, a corny TikTok song that was heavily marketed on Triller to capitalize on the Whoa dance craze. The song went viral, but when fans criticized it on Twitter, his responses would put a nasty stain on his reputation. People have different tastes and that's fine, but the way you're talking to fans who have been with you since 10 days is disappointing, and that ego reflects on the quality of your newest music. Eat it. You are a spoiled child who thinks artists are making music for you. I never intended for you to find or like anything I made. If I knew you existed, I would have tried my hardest to keep you from being able to enjoy it. Now go eat it again. Then Chance over and over again told the fan to eat it. This interaction was a far cry from the positive and wholesome Chance the Rapper fans loved. Then he dropped his debut album, The Big Day, on July 26, 2019. The Big Day was a reference to his wedding day, which he was planning during the creation of this album. Chance mentions his wife and family over 20 times on the record, which became a huge meme. And while his intentions were pure, the album simply was not good.
I am genuinely feeling like a strong 0 on this record.
Fans hated the project as well, and were quick to let him know. On Twitter, Chance would block anyone who poked fun at him or said anything negative about the album. With the influx of hate, he responded with extreme measures. I'm getting this crazy feeling that people want me to end it. These desperate tweets combined with his lazy album would lead to him canceling his 32-city arena tour, saying that he was instead going to focus on spending time with his family. which again sounds understandable, but it was a lie. The tour was actually canceled due to, quote, historically low ticket sales. According to his now ex-manager Pat Corcoran, Chance fired his manager, then blamed him for fan disappointment in the big day and underwhelming fan support for its associated tour. Corcoran would go on to file a lawsuit in November of 2020 against Chance the Rapper for breach of contract, stating that he is owed over $2.5 million in reimbursed expenses for supporting and promoting Chance's career, an additional $3 million for From here, all his hype died. On the other hand, if he stepped out of the limelight to genuinely focus on his family, that's respectable. Maybe that's something we should celebrate rather than see as a downfall. But Chance wasn't the only rapper whose Twitter fingers started their downfall. In the case of OG Mako, he pretty much forced everyone to hate him because of his tweets. In 2014, OG Mako had a ton of momentum after his song You Guessed It went viral on Vine. This track was unlike anything we had ever heard at the time. Before mumble rap took over, we had OG Mako screaming insane ad-libs over the most simplistic, hard-hitting trap beat. He had a darker, more rock-like aesthetic and even called himself not a rapper, but a rock star. The song reached number 90 on the Billboard Hot 100, and he could even be credited with inspiring many rappers after him. It definitely inspired Keith Ape, who just released a track called Itchy Ma that sounded suspiciously similar. Just listen to them at the same time. OG Mako tweeted, I'm aware of the Koreans that mocked me and took my sauce. I'm not impressed. I'm not inspired. I think it's kinda lame. To each his own. Mako even accused Beyonce of stealing from him in her 7-Eleven music video. If you look at them side by side, he may have a point, but Mako was developing a reputation of a bitter, egotistical rapper who complains on the internet. He randomly took shots at his collaborators and label mates, the Migos. Mako felt the need to tell everyone that Skippa da Flippa invented the dab dance that the Migos were using in the song Pipe It Up, to which the Migos replied, "The Flippa man is Migo family. OG Mako, let's see you set a trend." Then Mako said, half the rap game has already bit one of my flows or ad-libs. Let me see them album sales. Meanwhile, OG Mako has never had a gold album, let alone the dozens of platinum records the Migos had. Then he went after Lil Uzi when XXL tweeted, Lil Uzi is rap's newest rock star. He tweeted, dudes don't just become rock stars. Somebody gotta show you the way. Stop playing with my name. With a picture of Uzi at an OG Mako show on stage behind him. Then Academic said, you paved the way for Uzi? Then Mako replied with dozens of tweets over the next hour trying to explain why he is so influential and Uzi was stealing his sauce. He also randomly took shots at Future. I love Future, but I also understand Future has destroyed countless lives by making it cool to be a drug addict. People looking up to loser attitudes because this generation is afraid to strive for anything. It's y'all's fault all this lame-ass shit is possible. Again, he may have a point here, but fans replied to Mako calling him a hypocrite since he raps about the same stuff. But Mako claimed he was dumbing down his music to blow up. You guessed it, was not luck. It wasn't an accident. I made the dumbest song I possibly could on a beat full of bass and knew it would blow. I manipulated over 40 million minds and counting based on the exact same principles that I'm preaching. Who's more qualified to say this? Now, Mako has always made more conscious, focused music with substantial lyrics.
Like Jason, Michael, Freddie, and Idi Amin. After your civil syllable war, niggas should have been prepped before.
But a lot of his music was just mediocre, boring trap.
Get the cat, get the cat. Get the bag, get the bag. Hey, get the cat, get the cat.
Also, if he claims to be such a genius, why wasn't he able to do it again? During his brief moment of popularity, Mako consistently released music on SoundCloud, but nothing sounded anywhere near as innovative, fun, or interesting as you guessed it. His downfall was easily due to dissing rappers for absolutely no reason, non-stop complaining on Twitter, and trying so hard to take credit for the success of anyone else. Was he an innovator? Absolutely. But he spent too much time talking about how influential he was on Twitter rather than trying to create a legacy to maintain his career. But what happens when the reason a rapper blows up is the same exact reason why they had a downfall? On July 26, 2016, just a few weeks after his 16th birthday, SoundCloud rapper TK and 5 others conspired to rob a 17-year-old drug dealer, Zachary Below. The crew broke into the house around 10 p.m., and the robbery went wrong, which led to the drug dealer's friend and roommate, Ethan Walker, being fatally shot. TK admitted during the police interrogation that he was not the shooter, but was there looking for drugs and money. He had been released from custody pending the trial and was placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor. For the next 7 months, TK sat in his room, making music, releasing it on SoundCloud, and built up a following. With no money for a lawyer and quickly approaching the hearing for the murder, TK infamously tweeted that he was tired of house arrest and the police were going to have to hunt him down. While on the run from the police, TK was very active on social media. Fans posted pictures and videos of him in public. But TK and his friends were desperate for money. He robbed a 65-year-old man named Skip Pepe at gunpoint in Arlington's Craven Park. He then attempted to rob a cameraman named Mark Anthony Saldivar in a Chick-fil-A parking lot. Mark began screaming for help as he tried to escape. Then TK hit him with the car before getting out, fatally shooting him and driving off. San Antonio police connected TK to the murder due to surveillance footage and posted wanted signs around the city. TK saw this as a marketing opportunity, posting pictures and videos with the wanted sign. He then dropped a song called The Race on SoundCloud, which essentially told the story of him being a fugitive, robbing and killing people while on the run from the police. After filming and releasing a music video to The Race, TK was captured by U.S. Marshals in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The shockingly true story led to the 17-year-old exploding in virality. The Race secured hundreds of millions of views on YouTube, reached number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100, and hashtag FreeTK became a movement supported by some of the biggest rappers in the game. He even signed a $700,000 record deal, but none of it mattered because he was behind bars. And in 2019, he was given a 55-year sentence after being found guilty of murder and 3 counts of aggravated robbery. Obviously, TK's downfall could have been prevented if he simply did not commit these heinous acts. But as bad as it sounds, none of us would even know about him if he didn't actually rob and murder people, then make songs about it while mocking the police on the run from the law. Rap fans glamorize this type of behavior because the music is, a lot of the time, violent and derogatory. So if you're gonna rap about it, fans want you to be about it. But the fans won't be the ones sitting in the jail cell. Pooh Shiesty is an example of someone who was heavily rewarded for his violent music. His song Back in Blood featuring Lil Durk was essentially a song about killing your enemies. This track would reach number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100 and secured himself as a promising new talent in hip-hop. But at this peak of his new career, he got arrested. Pooh Shiesty and his crew were at the King of Diamonds strip club in Miami, Florida. Allegedly, Shiesty had money taken from him, which led to major commotion in the club. Security acted accordingly and escorted Pooh Shiesty out of the club, but he forced his way back into the club and accidentally fired a handgun at a working security guard. Pooh Shiesty turned himself in on June 8, 2021, and had his hearing the following day, where he would be denied bond. He would later be sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in prison on April 20th, 2022. He could have easily just left the club and let others go handle the money situation, but maybe he felt the need to live up to his Back in Blood lyrics. I got my own fire, don't need security in the club. If you haven't noticed, rappers and shootings seem to be a very common trend that leads to their downfall. Tory Lanez is no different. However, many people still question if he is actually guilty of being the shooter. In 2020, Tory Lanez was at the peak of his career. His feature on Jack Harlow's What's Poppin' reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 while objectively being the best verse. His album, The New Toronto 3, debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. He broke the record for the most live viewers in an Instagram Live during his quarantine radio show during the pandemic. However, on July 12, 2020, he was arrested on a felony gun charge while out with Megan Thee Stallion after attending a small party at Kylie Jenner's house. The public was also informed that Megan had cut her foot on broken glass. Then 3 days later, she changed her story to say that she was shot in the foot. Then 1 month later, she said this.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying. Stop lying.
Social media immediately took Megan's side. Tory remained silent about the allegations, but responded with lyrics on his album Daystar. How the fuck you get shot in your foot and don't hit no bones or tendons? How the fuck your team is trying to paint me as a whole menace? Delusional, like how that 1942 from Kylie House still got you talking crazy, as well as also rapping about why he hasn't been nearly as vocal as Meg. Think I'm finna talk about an open case for some likes? Tory Lanez was charged with 1 count of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and 1 count of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in October of 2020. Although Tory claimed he was being blackballed by the music industry, his career continued to thrive. He released 4 albums independently, which would all garner hundreds of millions of streams. He received praise from LeBron James as well as dozens of other mainstream acts. Fans believed if it wasn't for this case, he would have been toe-to-toe with the biggest rappers in the game. But once we finally got the information from this trial, we would end up with more questions than answers. On July 12, 2020, Tory Lanez, his bodyguard Megan Thee Stallion, and her friend Kelsey Harris were attending a small gathering at Kylie Jenner's house. Megan testified that she lied to the police about the glass, lied to doctors, and basically lied about the entire situation out of fear. Her news story was pretty simple. She said that they had an argument, she exited the car, Tory leaned out of the passenger side door, said, "Dance, bitch," and shot her from 25 feet away in the back of the foot. Then Tory ran up to her apologizing, and she got back into the car so they could give her a ride home. The cops arrived when neighbors reported the gunshots. Tory chose not to testify and defend himself, which he would later regret. Kelsey, Meg's friend, testified that Tory was trying to hook up with Kylie Jenner, and Meg tried to convince him to leave the house. Meg was upset that Tory didn't want to leave, so she got into the car with Kelsey and drove almost all the way home before realizing she forgot her slipper and went back to Kylie's. They grabbed Tory the second time after Kylie allegedly told them to leave. In the car is when Tory admitted that he and Megan had been in a romantic relationship. Kelsey was shocked because Megan was the one who hooked up Tory and Kelsey in the first place. Kelsey also admitted that this was not the first time Meg had backdoored her when it came to men. Now we have a love triangle. And this is how the argument started. But Kelsey pleaded the fifth when it came to speaking about anything regarding the gun or shooting. The government offered her immunity, so she couldn't be charged with any crime even if she admitted to it. She still refused to speak. There was one witness, Sean Kelly, who saw the altercation from his balcony after being awoken by the arguing. Sean said he witnessed Kelsey get out from the backseat, open the front passenger door, and start physically fighting Megan in the front seat. He also said that the muzzle flash from the gun was closest to Kelsey. Much of his testimony was ignored because he couldn't identify the people by name since it was dark. He only said big man, small man, and 2 women. Nobody admitted to hearing the words dance bitch besides Megan. There was gunshot residue on Kelsey's hands and Tory's hands. Also after this night, Kelsey and Megan stopped being friends after being best friends for 7 years. When Tory was initially jailed, he called Kelsey and apologized multiple times to her. I know she's probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, I was just so drunk. I don't even know what was going on. I'd never do some shit like that. Regardless, that's not going to make anything right, and that's not going to make my actions right. But I'm deeply sorry for that. I never even moved like that at all. People speculated Tory was apologizing for sleeping with both of the women and causing chaos. Others see this as an obvious admission of shooting the gun. Some people think it was Kelsey who was angry and shot Megan. Some people think Megan was the one who accidentally shot her own foot. Some people think that Kelsey pleading the fifth was her attempt to try to save both of them. But at the end of the day, the jury decided he was guilty, and because of that, Tory was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
These days, the saying all publicity is good publicity is floated around quite a lot, but that isn't...
Alright, that's it. Getting off, I gotta get ready for work. Appreciate it, guys.